Alright, so in this video we're going to briefly go over talent mapping and one of two approaches in terms of creating searches. So the first approach that is typical is to target a company by company. Do a search targeting a company. A typical layout that we'll have in terms of information that we will want to get before jumping in and creating our searches will be kind of as follows, right? How many people are on LinkedIn at that company? And this is assuming, currently at that company. How many people are in job science? And then from there, how many people are at each one of the levels? And then how many people are at the major locations? And then how many people broken down by years of experience, right? And then lastly, just knowing in general how many people have worked at that company in the past, right? Past, not current. So let's just run through that, right? Using Sapient as an example. If we were to look at a search for Sapient people, right? You just have Sapient current company. If we were to unclick this, or just the United States, you get 2,000 people, right? So that'd be the first answer. Number of people on LinkedIn, we would say 2,121, right? Of those people on LinkedIn who are currently there, how many of those people are in our system, right? So the most effective way of doing that is going to be to create a list view using Sapient as the account, right? The other method would be potentially doing a power search, putting in the word Sapient, but then you would just get people to have that in their resume as opposed to people that, according to job science, are currently working at Sapient, if that makes sense. So we do Candos, right? You would do a search for Sapient, click go. And then record whatever number would come up here, which actually says 241. All right, so a pretty big difference. Only 241 are recorded in job science as people being. Let's just edit this to make sure this is correct, right? Account name contains Sapient. Yep, that's pretty much all you would do. There's no other filters here. So that means there's a lot of people that are on LinkedIn that are not in our system. All right, and then that being said, this 241 is most likely not accurate, just depending on when people were added to job science, right? They could have made transitions and would no longer be there, right? But we want to know that information as well. Just how many are in job science. From there, number of people at this is like at the different levels, right? So the way we would do that in a search, we go to how many people in the U.S., right? Big number. Then we go to title and just type in associate. Now, obviously, in order to do this, you would have to do a little bit of research and know or understand the different titles within that company in particular, right? So the official title is actually associate consultant, right? We'll just and then they also have senior associate, right? So we would actually want to put let's put associate consultant because it'll give us a little bit more of an accurate picture as people's titles. Senior associate, just doing associate, we'll get senior associate, and that doesn't really work for us. So let's try associate consultant and see what it says. So you get 20. Is that an accurate number? Not really. So that one I would just say NA because it's a little messy. Because associate consultant, people aren't using that title to the extent that they probably. Alright, here we go. That they probably would. This is current or past too, which doesn't give us just a current, which means this number will be even smaller for people. So it's not a popularly used title. Let's just type. So we guess we could put 4, but that's not really going to be accurate in terms of how many people are at that associate level. From there, let's take that out and just see how many people identify themselves as consultant. currently 176, including some of the associate consultants we already have. We also have senior associates in here, so it's not too helpful, but we can still write in the numbers. Again, but as you write this in, you just have to know that there's overlap in terms of the titles. So let's put senior associate. Current search. Change this in here. Associate. Alright, 313. Now we look at the first page. These are all saying current senior associate. So here's a manager, right? So, and the reason you'll get someone like this, they may have changed their title on their, where their name and information is up here, but did not change it down here, or forgot to change this, and so she has present still here, which is why you got senior associate showing up still in the search that you did, right? If she would have changed this to say August 2015, then you would only get manager to come up. So, it's just good to know these things when you're doing the search, so you can take that into consideration, but it should still give a pretty decent layout in terms of how many people are at what levels, right? From what we have here. So the search manager, 642. Let's do senior manager. That's probably also, as you can see here, going to have senior managers in that. So it's not fully accurate. Senior manager is 140. Alright, so you can assume 140 of these people are going to be senior manager level right now. So I actually changed this to 502. Alright, and then directors will be different. $299. Alright, so out of curiosity, if you're looking at this and you did the sum of these people, alright, it's about 1,400, right? And it said there's 2,000. So, potentially here, would the rest of these people on LinkedIn be at the partner level? Probably not that many. But you'll have everybody else, the partners and VPs, and then everybody else who didn't use these generic titles in their title section. So that's what will make up the difference, right? So, there you have that, and then from there you just you want to get an idea of locations, right? So if we take away title and we just started looking at specific locations, so let's just look at places we know, the major hubs. Let's just take a look at all those real quick. So we got New York, Chicago, Atlanta, Boston has a huge presence. Sapient people. We just type all these in, it'll give us some numbers. We want to take a look at, let's say, New Jersey. It's not coming up. Let's see if that works. I know they have some people in Los Angeles. Let's see if they have any in San Francisco. Let's see if they have people in the Charlotte. Alright. So let's see. No, interesting. None in Charlotte. Doesn't seem right, but that's why we're doing this. Oh, director. Let's get rid of that. Search. Okay. That's helpful. A little better. Make sure you don't make any mistakes like that. Should just be sapient currents. Okay. What else would you do? You just keep looking up the major cities. Let's just do DC. See if anybody's there. Alright, and then just fill those in real quick. So New York City, 367. Alright. Oops. 367. Chicago has 104. Boston has 455. DC 441. Atlanta 66. California in general, let's just do. Los Angeles has 32. Insert below. San Francisco has 48. And nothing for New Jersey. Well, Charlotte has 6. Not actually interested in who's in these cities. So, right click, delete row. Boom. So now we have a little bit of a layout here in terms of where everybody is. That's actually very interesting. I didn't know that so many people are at Sapient in DC, so they must have a federal practice. Certainly a lot of wealth and asset management related / capital markets related stuff. That's why there's a huge presence in Boston, and then obviously New York being the second biggest. Surprisingly, a lot of people in Chicago, and Atlanta, San Francisco, Los Angeles, a little bit of people in Charlotte. All right, so that maps that out. You know, and then from there, you would just go and do the same thing for years of experience, right? You would just look at the numbers here to get a sense of. So let's just do that very quickly. Everyone 1 to 2 years is 66, so 77. Every 2 years or under. 3 to 5 is 182. 6 to 10 is 544. More than 10 is the majority of people, which may suggest that this is accurate in that the remaining people are going to be at the kind of partner VP level and or above. Alright, and then lastly for current, past not current, let's just take a look of much larger amounts, which is just interesting, right? 6,000. That's, at least it's very interesting to me. So, you know, when you create that, when you create this map, it just lays out the basis for, you know, it takes a snapshot of the company we're targeting. Is it 100% accurate? No, obviously not. But it's helpful to know, hey, should we be doing a search in our job science? And the answer is probably yes, to see who's in there first and foremost, because that's just easier. And then from there, you know, how big is the gap between what's in our database and what's on LinkedIn? And then from there is, what are the levels that they have and who has those, how many people have those titles? And then from there, which city should I be targeting? You know, doing a San Francisco or LA search in and of itself would be a good search to do. It's a very small amount, yes. But is it going to be a targeted pool of people? Absolutely. You know, and then from there, what can you expect from a years of experience perspective? So that should then start to map out the basis for designing and putting together your searches, right? And again, this is more of an approach that's not looking at what our client demand is and then creating a search towards that. For example, if we were looking to just do capital markets, PI, they are only looking for managers in the New York City area. But if we're just going to cover this company, you know, through and through, then it's a matter of, you know, just creating a search that would encompass all these people, and then slowly going through it, all right, and having a plan. So the next video is going to be on how you would put together and create those searches to plan your searches for the week, if not a longer period of time.